It says we're live, but I don't see anything on the YouTube yet. So, oh, here we go. It's coming up. All right, hold on. Let me turn the volume down. All right. Okay, hey everyone. This is the Artcasters number 6. I am Scott with CircWorks. You can find my work where it says right down there, circworks.com or CircWorks anywhere on the web. I'm doing Inktober. If you guys want to check that out, that's on my Instagram, CircWorks. Whatever the whatever the extension is for Instagram, CircWorks. And I have with me on my virtual left, I've got Jeff Lafferty.
Hey everybody. That's it.
Okay. And also we have Kevin Cross.
That's right.
See, I gave a little pitch there, and you guys, come on, you gotta let people know what you do here.
Oh, I see. Okay, should have planned that.
We've only done this once. So.
All right. Well, I'm Jeff Lafferty. I'm an illustrator, and my website's jefflafferty.net. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
I'm Kevin Cross, punk rock musician, dad, skateboarder, artist,
Writer.
writer. I was born in Berkeley, California, and you can see my YouTube channel because that's all that gets updated lately. Down below, youtube.com/KevinCrossArt. And today, I am working on a comic page for a client.
All right. Are you burnout on that yet?
Oh man, that is such a lovely segue because you know I am.
See, I thought we were just going to talk about the Star Wars trailer and the fact that it is Back to the Future Day.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way real quick. And here's what I have to say about both those things. Wonderful. All right.
Okay, Kevin. So we're gonna, even though I think Jeff's the one that sparked this this topic, but I know you've been dealing with it for a while with this project. So we're going to talk a little bit about creative burnout.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You want to tell us what your experience is with that, or just what you're going through? And I know you've talked about this before, but if we can maybe offer any solutions. I know coming up there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel, but until that time, how are you dealing with that, Kevin?
Well, I would like to see if we can problem solve some stuff because I really don't have an answer for burnout on this project. Other things in art, I might have some suggestions, but this particular project has been going on for months, and by the time it's finished in December, it will have been about 13 months that I've been working on it, and it's not a project that I get a break on. I'm often working. I should be working 7 days a week, but that is almost impossible. So I'm mostly doing about 6 days a week, like 7 days every other week, 6 days, on the alternating weeks, because you just get so burnt out. And it's just this never-ending project, and I don't know. I'm so tired of it. I'm not trying to talk shit or anything about the company or anything like that. It's just, if anybody's been watching my YouTube videos, they know that my goal is to not work for other people. I think we talked about this actually last Artcasters too, that was on my channel, about how Jeff and I don't want to work for anybody but ourselves.
Me in there.
Yeah, and it's just, what's that?
So it just pulls me in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the record, I don't really want to work for anyone but myself either, but sometimes that's not always an option. So.
That's true. That is very true. So, a lot of this burnout comes from, some of the common things that people say is, when you're burnt out, oh, go do something else.
Yeah.
Well, if I do something else, then I get behind. It's like that crazy of a deadline. It's the most intense deadline I've ever had. Um, you know, aside from that, it's not very fulfilling because of how fast I'm supposed to pump this stuff out. And this is my second page today, and that's
Wow.
blank page to full colors.
That's brutal.
So far, what you're seeing right now, like I usually ink with a brush, but for this comic, I ink with this, I forget what it's called, Kuretake. It's a Japanese felt tip pen. It's double tipped, and you can get a little bit of line quality, not as nice as a brush or anything, but I just don't have time. So,
Yeah.
I a bit, it's something that kind of weighs on me because I know that my ability is so much better than what I'm able to output because of the time constraints. So that's kind of a bum out to spend, 13 months on something I don't want to show anybody.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, I'm really friggin' burned out, man. I have gotten back into playing video games, which is probably not a super smart thing to do. The other night, to fight burnout, I guess, because I don't get to do anything for myself right now at all. I guess the YouTube videos are, but I haven't been able to get to one of those for a couple weeks now, I guess.
Yeah.
And then otherwise I'm like watching my daughter all the time and trying to keep up on this project and trying to get it off the plate. So I never get to do anything for myself. So the other night I did get ahead for a second there, and I beat God of War on PlayStation 2. And that helped me with Burnout for a little bit because the next day I did feel more refreshed because when I let my brain think about something else for a while,
Yeah.
being frivolous. But most of the time I can't, and I'm looking at God of War 2 is on my shelf right now, and maybe I'll get to that in a couple months.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I don't know. It was like taking a micro vacation in a fantasy land or something of Greek mythology.
Yeah.
But I've been doing this project all year, so I don't know, any relaxation I got from it, like it did not take very long to fall back into it. I'm so burnt out and sick of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say that like that whole taking a break thing. Like for me, I don't know. I guess it does kind of work because eventually I notice I'll come back out of it if I am like that. But that's the thing is like I usually don't have time to like go do something else for a long time and then come back to it. I kind of gotta keep going because I gotta get paid and I gotta get on the next one. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's like right now. I mean, technically, I'm self-employed too, but I've got client, this big client,
Yeah.
and you've got commissions and stuff, but it seems like you're more on track to where I want to be, as
Right.
far as, I guess not working for corporate clients, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I could make it on a big old 13-month job like what you're saying. That's
I,
like my nemesis.
yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
if I don't or I'm not able to make it on my own stuff like my plan is for next year after this, or December actually maybe when this job is finished, and I have to take clients again. The hell if I'm ever doing anything like this again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do comics again, but this is just such a talking heads, and I drawing as cartoony as they'll let me. That's another thing. I'm not really drawing in my style.
That's hard too.
Yeah, sucks. But
I think it's just hard to do anything that you're not into. That's the thing that always gets me in that mode where I feel like burned out or something.
yeah. I mean, it's
if I'm into it, and that's why a game I'll play too with myself is I'll try to kind of talk myself into that state I was in, like when I took it or something. Because there's some things that are fun that I just get tired of, and then I just want to get onto something else, and I'm stuck on this thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can kind of like tap into that excitement I had or whatever, and sometimes I can't though. Sometimes it's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, this is a period piece.
Uh huh.
Um, Takes place in the 1960s, and it's takes place with some like rock and roll subcultures that I like, but it's just such a human drama instead of like monsters and explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
So doing that for 13 months is it's getting it's not like what I like to do.
Hmm.
I like to do more fantastical things, um, stuff like that. So I mean, occasionally I guess burnout or fighting it will take the form of um, for Patreon. One of my tiers or for pledge levels or whatever is for people to get sketches, and so
Yeah.
then I get to draw like a monster or something fun, but they're sketches, and so I don't really have a lot of time to like make like finished pieces out of them.
Hmm.
So but that does kind of help to have that to be able to
Yeah.
draw something weird.
Yeah.
I like the idea of tricking yourself into finding something. I mean, even if you do like an exercise where you kind of make a list. I mean, if you had a list of pros and cons, and you'd have all these cons, but there's got to be some pros there, and maybe try to focus on those. I mean, I mean, what you're doing is just it's. I mean, the amount of work you've already done and how long you've been doing it, it's crazy. So I mean, how long do you keep trying to trick yourself? But
Yeah, I've tried so many times, so many different things, like tell myself, why did I originally take this job,
right,
trying to remind
Yeah.
myself like that, um, and it's just, just is what it is, it's just a long, 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 long job, you know, definitely the longest I've had, because like in kids' books, you work, I think the longest I ever worked on a book was 3 months, and it paid better.
yeah.
Kids' books pays what better than comics, everybody.
Yeah. Sometimes those high-paying jobs though can, you know what I mean? You can get in that funk with those things too, though. I find myself with that, and and I'll do that list of pros and cons. Like I'll storm around the house when nobody's here and be like, telling myself that I need this money, I need to sit down. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
sometimes I just don't feel like doing it. I don't know, which is lame, but I think that's the thing is like sometimes you just gotta force yourself, which is pretty much what you're doing. But I don't know if that's an answer.
yeah.
You
I mean,
know?
this is, I think maybe to toot our horn is that that's kind of the mark of a professional is regardless. It seems like you
Yeah.
don't do it. Um, to them they're like, oh man, I couldn't do what you're doing because I got to be like inspired, or I'm like, well,
Yeah.
how about the electrical bill? That's pretty inspiring.
That does inspire.
Yeah. How about I
Yeah.
need to feed myself and my daughter?
A call from like an editor, it's always inspiring. So
Yeah.
you're like, oh yeah, I feel like working.
But I am feeling this thing, and I don't know. I'm just trudging along. Like, it's a it's a pretty big graphic novel to have one guy doing everything but writing. It's 144 pages of story, 166 pages of content, and you'd think like I am. I have what 32 pages done, or 32 pages left. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? But I don't feel it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I come into the office and like if it's doing a sketch for a patron or getting to work on my own comic project, no problem. I feel no burnout whatsoever. Then I just look at this, and it's just like that feeling, like when you have some shitty job with a crappy boss, and you're like, oh God, I just want to call in sick today.
So
Yeah.
do you ever take that stack of pages that you've done and just take it and like bang it on the table and see the thickness of it and say,
I
what
did
I've done
today.
so far? Yeah, look what I've done so far. I mean, that's got to be some, some sort of sense of accomplishment there, and how far you've gone.
Yeah, I mean, I actually did that today. Kind of. Oh, here it is. Just gonna put this on screen here real quick.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this is what
Wow.
100 and what am I on? 112? 112 pages looks like. Most of these are double-sided because these aren't pages that I can sell. So I didn't fill in blacks and anything like that. So yeah, a lot of them are double-sided. It's not showing up, but yeah.
When you say you can't sell them, I mean you can sell them, and you have the rights to sell them. You just don't think
I have
they
the
would
rights
sell.
to sell them. They're just not.
Right.
It's like I don't know how many people buy soap operas on DVD.
You're gonna be driving some poor collector like crazy in like 50 years, trying to figure out how to frame a double-sided piece.
Well, I mean, this book is going to be out there and it's going to be published. I mean,
Yeah.
it stands to reason that there's got to be some people that read it and like it and are fans of it, and that they
Well, I
might
hope
actually.
so.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable that somebody might be interested in buying, some of the artwork from it. I don't, who knows, but.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know how well this is showing up. Can you see the blue line on the screen?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing because of the time and everything is I have to ink really, really fast. So already I messed up on his hair. It looks like a weird brain or like a walnut shell. But so I have to fix that in color. Like there's a word balloon right here, and there's this woman behind it. I put the word balloons here so I don't waste time drawing whatever's underneath. So like I'll finish a line like on her face right here, like I'll go down like that, and then boom, go into the word balloon. I stop. So that's what most of the pages look like. Don't fill in the black, so there's X's all over everything. So it just looks. And I'm not going to go in and make it finish these,
Right. But that's the process you've taken on to do that comic book, and I think art collectors kind of probably realize that, So
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't know. I also don't think I'm popular enough for anyone to care. I mean, and I don't mean that to sound like self-defeating or anything like that. I just think that's just not,
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I've got still all my original artwork from like Young and the Dead, and I haven't tried to sell any of it, but I mean, so it's. But
I
you
can see
never
somebody
know.
buying that stuff though.
Yeah, I can see someone buying that stuff. It's like they look, everything that I've seen from it anyway, they look like complete inked comic pages.
I think like you're just so burned out on the project that you just I can tell you just want rid of all of it. You want rid of the original art.
Oh yeah, man.
You don't want to see it. You don't want to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get that because some of my old pages sometimes I'll have some guy from who knows where want something and they'll contact me and it's like I know I got that stuff somewhere, but it's like do I really I'm just not into it enough to even dig into my drawers to find some of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you start
Like
telling
why do you
yourself
want that thing? Yeah.
and you're like, well, then I got to pack it, then I go to the post office, and
Well, even that I do that all the time. But just it's just that the fact that it's like I feel like it's not my best work. I feel like a lot of that stuff is just so bad. It's like no, but you don't want that. And I'm like talking them out of it.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'll do you something real good.
Right. Why don't you buy something new?
Here's my commission rates.
But they're like a fan of whatever, like some character or something. So like that's why they're specifically looking for it.
Doom, 2000.
Right.
What was it? 399. That was it.
Right.
I gotta search that out.
No.
I had some of those issues
Did you really?
back in the day. Yeah.
Man. I was on the very end of the run, so
Oh,
You
I
stuck
probably
with
was
it
around
to
for
the
that then, because I think at that point I was like, had gone through one of my other times of like, I'm done with comics.
Oh
How
man.
many times did that happen?
Well, because that was like, hologram cover times
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that was too. It was.
and
That's exactly what was going on.
uh, killed comics for so many people.
But
Yeah.
I've started and stopped collecting comics so many times. You know, I was just buying comics not too long ago, and I haven't bought one in months. So,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
I got on a little kick there for a minute, like when the new Howard the Duck came out and the Batgirl stuff and Squirrel Girl, and I like those titles, that I just mentioned, but I just don't have the dedication anymore to stick with any, like, yeah, just stick with it. But
yeah,
Yeah. I have a really hard time finding anything I want to read. Because like sometimes I'll go over to Comixology, I'll look around, and I just have a really hard time finding anything that like really just makes me want to get it. I guess
there's a lot of
comics
stuff.
seem really different.
I don't know,
Yeah.
different time.
It could be. Maybe I just kind of outgrew them or something. I don't know.
Well, it's like there's a lot I want to read, but it's like there's a lot of music is like real important to me. There's a lot of bands I want to go see,
Yeah.
but if it's a choice between me playing music or going to watch someone else playing music, I'll play it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
at the point now where I don't know, it might sound egotistical, but I'd rather be a maker than a spectator.
oh,
Yeah.
exactly. I say that all the time. Yeah.
So, like there's a band, like one of my favorite bands. It's actually playing in town. I think it's tonight. Um, and so my friends are going, and it's a band I really, really dig. Super influential on my music, but I saw them in the '80s, and they're, I've seen them. you know,
Yeah.
I just feel like I'd rather get this comic done, and
Who is it? Is it Aerosmith?
no, definitely not Aerosmith. It's a band called the Subhumans.
Oh, okay.
You know them, right?
Right.
I've heard of something.
Well, do you think, I mean, just like, I'll throw a positive spin on it. Do you think that, like, having done, like, however many freaking pages, like 130 pages of a graphic novel, like, is that going to help you, like, with, like, Monkey Mod when you get going on it again? You think it's, like, you're going to be, like, a different artist and so, because, like, I've never done, like, a whole graphic novel, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah, but so I'm sort of worried about it a little bit in a way because now I have this like just get it done kind of mentality.
yeah.
Um, where like Monkey Man, I am taking more of my time with it, but since I finished the last 100 days of Make Comics. I'm not doing another one because I'm just gonna finish this. Um, I'm already falling into this like I don't know. It's a good and a bad thing, I think. Like where it's just like just get it done, regardless of quality. And I don't want to do that with Monkey Mod, but I can tell my patience is different.
Right.
My patience level. Um, so
Well, I wonder though, just like, just because you're used to working so much though, like
oh
once you
yeah, yeah,
get going on your own stuff, it's going to be like just easier to just sit down and get the work done.
right. I see
You
what you
know,
mean. Yeah,
because I'm sure you won't be doing like 2 pages a day. I mean, who wants to do that ever? But
no, I
you know,
probably won't. Definitely won't. um, if I don't know if I'm lucky and it becomes something that might happen again. Do
yeah,
2 pages a day, but um, I'm hoping to like design, for lack of a better term, design my own career path so that I don't have to do that. But yeah, I do think I see what you mean. I think it's going to be a cakewalk compared to
right,
this. Even though I'm going
yeah,
to be working on it slower and stuff, it's just like just sitting down to work is going to be a cakewalk because I mean, that was kind of helped with burnout too, actually, because it was my own project that I feel really strongly about. You know, um, so there's sometimes when I would be working on this project and I'd be, work a super long day, and then I got to do the 100 days making comics. I got to at least get my 30 minutes in, and then all of a sudden that feeling of just like, God, I don't want to draw another line would wash away.
Yeah.
And I think just because it was my own project, so yeah, I think it's gonna be easy, and I think of like when I started this job, what I would have thought was a long day is not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So that could be a good thing to kind of go through that. I know when I quit my job, I was like, I'm gonna approach this like my job. I wasn't like, because I never worked that long after work, but I was like, no, I'm gonna sit here for 8 hours. I'm gonna get that, or more, because a lot of times I'd work more than 8 hours in my normal job.
Right.
I wouldn't think about it, But like drawing that much seemed like, oh, that's a lot, but
right.
You can do that too, yeah.
Oh man, see that? Now I smeared a bunch of ink on her face.
Oh no.
That wouldn't have happened. I'd have been way more careful. Because, I'd be selling the pages, and I want them to look nice. And but yeah, what you're saying too is like, I think that kind of stuff, like what you're talking about with this job, that is going to help, because you just this is what I was going to say, is that the common thing, because especially now that I want to go client free, I watch all these like entrepreneur YouTube channels and shit like that,
Yeah.
And kind of a common thread is like, for these successful people who are doing it, it's like they're the first people to go to work and the last people to go home, so to speak. So, this job helps because it's making me be like that. And
I do think that's true. If you work for yourself, you really do got to be the one that works the hardest.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can work.
Yeah, you can only say yes to going out to a barbecue or party or something with your friends, like, once a month if you're lucky.
Yeah.
You got to be really, like, you got to want it, I guess. As cliche as that sounds.
It's true, though.
I want it. I want it, Jeff.
Nice. So what do you think, Scott? I want to hear the positive, what's called side of burnout.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do, Scott? Scott there?
Did he go? Oh, he's gone. He's in the chat, though. That's weird.
Crazy.
That's weird, because he's running the Hangout. I hope we're still on air.
Yeah, I know.
Can you see, can you see the YouTube channel?
Yeah, I've got the YouTube channel up, and it's still going, but there's that delay. And I'm watching me draw now, and I'm like way past that point.
All right.
We'll see.
It goes off.
Said he was fixing his computer or something today, or he got new. He was having those computer problems.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't get it all squared away yet. I don't know.
Yeah. I forgot to ask him if he got any of his data back or anything.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear how Scott positively deals with burnout?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think the guy who actually asked the question, he's this person called YouTubeosaurus on YouTube. That's like his username. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, I don't actually know if it's a he or she. I shouldn't even say he, but it's like, I think it's, I don't think they're like a working artist or whatever. I think they work on the side, and they're kind of talking about burnout in that sense of getting tired of I don't know, doing it on the side all the time and stuff, which I don't know if we can even speak to that anymore.
Yeah, it's been so long since it was a side thing for me, and I was a student when I started working. So,
yeah,
it was I don't know that I've ever done art just on the side, actually, because, you know, I guess you could say when I was in school and I was taking jobs, that was just because I was like, I knew people and I was hungry and I didn't want to like wait to be out of school to hustle.
Yeah.
You know, so me doing it on the side, for my schoolwork, it felt easy because if I didn't have work, I'd just do schoolwork. You know, no skin off my back. I'd have to do that anyway. So, um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, there's another angle that maybe kind of fits with that is I have worked in house as an illustrator for a company and then come home to work on my own stuff.